In today's video, we're taking a look at the Dangbei Mars 4K. This is a home theater projector and it delivers a quite incredible job. Whether it be playing games, movies or just watching standard TV, this really should be a consideration for you. And here it is. This is the Mars Pro by Dangbei. Now, we haven't heard of the name Dangbei before. It's a brand that has been around for a number of years. In 2022, they were actually in the top 3 projector manufacturers in China, and it was at that point that they decided to expand and take on the world. And I've looked at a few of their products in the last couple of months. I have to say I have been very impressed, not only with the build quality, but with the results that they deliver. In the box, you get all of the usual stuff. I'm not going to bore you by slowing down this video. There's the remote, the power pack, and a full instruction manual. And this is the projector itself. It's very stealth-like in its design. It's a similar build quality and design to the Extreme Horizon Pro 4K and very similar in size. On the back there's 2 HDMI ports, one of these doubles up as an eARC port, 2 USB, you've also got optical audio, an Ethernet port, and you've obviously got your power point. On the bottom there's a tripod mat and 4 adjustable feet so that you can hopefully position this in the right position. On the front you've got your lens and your camera and sensor for auto keystone and also autofocus. This thing is pretty quiet. When I turned it off, I was getting a room reading of around 28 to 29 decibels, and then when I turned it on, it peaked to around 39 to 40, and that's when it first came on, but then it settled back down again to around 33, which is one of the quietest that we've seen for a long time. The light source on this projector is a single laser and it gives a good performance both in day and night conditions. Now, strangely, Dangbei haven't actually published what the ANSI lumens is on this projector, although a great channel called The Hookup have measured it at around 2063. In my test, I didn't get quite as high as that. I was in around 1920, so it's going to be around that level, but it's certainly brighter than the Horizon Pro 4K. This is it from the other angle, and as the blind rises on the right-hand side, you can see, obviously the picture washes out a little bit, but it's certainly not terrible, and it's one of the best that we've seen in this type of price range. There are some smart things built into this projector as well. You have auto screen alignment, auto keystone, there's autofocus as well. You don't need to have all of those things on, and you can adjust manually if you so wish. So the auto screen alignment worked perfectly all of the time with no issues at all. The avoiding obstacles one is one where I've noticed some projectors seem to do better than others, so I've tested that, and the pleasing news is that this did really well. I placed that light in the right hand side of the screen, and as you can see within a few seconds, I've not sped this video up at all, it's read the fact that the light was there and adjusted the picture and kept it straight. You do have to compensate with a smaller screen obviously, but that's great if there's a door or a window in the way of the actual picture. One thing that I really like is when you go in to change the different picture modes, it gives you almost like a looping roll of the same thing, which is this girl on the screen, and then as you change the image, it will adjust that picture, so you get a consistent idea of exactly what it will look like. There's also a custom mode as well as your normal individual modes which are preset. There's also the same option for MEMC, which is Motion Enhancement Motion Control. This is where the projector will add frames to make the scene smoother. Now, some people like this, some people don't. I'm not the best fan of it. If I do have it set on, I only have it ever set to low. Most of the time I find having it off, if there's the odd film or something which is a little bit juddery, I can live with that because I find that the soap opera effect that it sometimes gives is actually more distracting than a little bit of screen judder. Sound on the projector is delivered via 2 10-watt speakers, and they do have Dolby Audio support, including DTS HD. Now, there is an HDMI eARC port on this projector, and I definitely recommend, like I say on every video that I do, grab a soundbar, grab a surround sound system, because if you're paying this type of money for a projector, you don't really want to be listening to sound coming from either just in front of you or right behind you, and the best thing to do is have that sound in a surround sound type setup. So the overall interface of the projector is pretty good. I like how simple it is, and if you're new to projectors, you'll have no problem navigating it through. There's even a screensaver, so if you do want to have a 100-inch giant clock on your wall, then you can. Or you can have something like a dynamic scene, which has a little bit of movement in. There is CEC control for your HDMI port, and so therefore you can have the projector coming on and off when you turn your third-party device on and off. There's also a game mode option so that you can have faster input lag, but Dangbei suggests that they can get it down as low as 20 milliseconds. Now I couldn't get it anywhere near that. 42 was the lowest that I had, and that was with no keysync correction, no image adjustment at all, and in game mode. So I'd be interested to see how they managed to get the 20 milliseconds. Without doubt, one of the strangest features that I've seen on any projector is a dust cleaning facility. Now, it does sound like a Hoover when it's doing it. I imagine it's doing something with the fans, but I couldn't really find out any more information about that. The Mars Pro runs on an Android-based system, but again, it's specific to Dangbei, and I definitely recommend that you get your own Apple TV, Fire Stick, something along those lines. There is a nice little community section which shows you how to install features like Netflix and how to do other bits and pieces. There's also a browser built into the operating system, which again is an okay feature if you really are going to use it, and part of the controller on the actual remote control does double up as a mouse. You get this screen which is almost like an operation tool menu screen, and there's also the option to play a file from a disk, which again is a nice touch. You can cast to this projector as well, either via iOS or Android, and you've got Miracast facility as well. But without a doubt, the best feature about this projector is the quality of the image that it produces. Considering it's just a single laser, it's very, very bright and works great. I definitely recommend it for ambient or slightly darker rooms, as I would with the majority of projectors out there. But this is on a par with many which are probably more expensive. There's absolutely zero laser speckle in any shape or form. I went as close as I possibly could and didn't notice any at all. So that is certainly not an issue. But overall, it doesn't matter whether you're playing SDR content, HDR content, this really is a really impressive picture. Any screen flicker that you are seeing within this video is not apparent in reality. That's just the camera frequency that I'm using. But the key points to this projector are all four corners are pin sharp. It is absolutely perfect. The autofocus facility on this projector, again, is one of the best I've seen. The way that it adjusts the image, if you are going to be using things like auto keystone correction, again, very quick and works all of the time. I was particularly impressed with the way that this projector handled HDR content. On some laser projectors, you do find that it can go a little bit darker, but here there was no issue with that at all. Everything, it doesn't matter what I played through this, looked very cinematic and had a really good feel to the image. So what I love about this type of projector that does a great job with SDR content, HDR content and gaming is it really can replace your TV. And there's nothing better than having a 100-inch screen on the wall delivering pin-sharp images, great colours and just giving you that cinematic feel at home. It really is something which is just makes people just go wow when they see it. So the recommended screen size on this projector is up to 200 inches, and although I'm only projecting on a 100-inch screen, that would look absolutely incredible. In fact, I'm thinking that I'm going to have to get a bigger screen because so many of these projectors now say that they'll go to 150, 200 inches. I feel like I've got a tiny screen at 100 inches. What's your thoughts? Do I need to upgrade? Okay, the only thing that I would say for gamers is that just the milliseconds on the input lag, I'm a little bit dubious how they got to 20 milliseconds because I couldn't get anywhere near that. At around 40 though, it's still pretty quick for casual gamers. And again, on a big screen, it's really impressive doing that. So anyway, my friends, that's it for this video. That is the Dangbei Mars Pro 4K. It is pretty impressive for such a small machine. Thanks again for watching this video. I look forward to seeing you on the next.